I would love for you to share your experience with AEL. So like, what was it like coming in, and, what was the experience like? What are your biggest wins, and where you're at now?
I mean, when I came in, I was, this was pretty much in my head, my like last hope, because I had tried so many things. I was probably 25 years or so into this process of feeling awful, and thinking that it was the last time that I was going to feel sick, and then all of a sudden getting sick again. Um, and I felt so overwhelmed by all the things that people had been telling me. You need to do this, you need to do that, yoga and acupuncture and calming your nerves and eating this food and that food and don't eat that food. And so many times the diets would overlap and you were so confused. And so I just kind of always threw up my hands and said, like, this is too hard. And when I finally wanted to take control of what I felt and how to like deal with my illness, I felt like I couldn't do it alone, because I can spend a lot of time researching food. I can spend a lot of time researching nervous system stuff, but that would take a lot of time and I probably would never do it. And then just knowing which ones and how and what. But to me, this supplement part was something I knew I was never going to be able to do myself. And I was right, because I still don't understand all of the supplement stuff, but it feels like somebody does and they're helping me. And I feel like every time I have a symptom or a question or a problem, I have an answer from you, from Farah, from someone. And that just feels so different than the medical experience I've had for 25 years. Um, I the community that I've been able to see, like just the first call, seeing people who like hearing people who have the exact same symptoms, even though they have a completely different journey. Every single woman hearing different comments that we all have and different feelings inside, externally and internally, was just like, not that I want this for anybody at all, but I don't want this for any of us. But at the same time, it feels like, oh my God, somebody finally freaking knows how I feel. Like there's
Mm.
somebody there. And that was something I never had before either. I think that this program takes a lot of work on my part.
Yep.
It obviously, I don't think anything that is going to heal you, especially something like endometriosis, is going to happen without a lot of work. But to me, this was the least overwhelming. It was just not overwhelming. I don't know why, even though there was a lot to do. And I'm not going to claim that there wasn't a lot,
Yeah.
but it just felt like it was manageable. And I think you have to listen to yourself a lot. And I was able to like take all of the things. Okay, there's 17 different ways you can calm your nervous system. Let me try all of them and see what works with my life and see what actually makes me feel better. Like for me, I do the like legs up the wall every single day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Because I can feel my body digesting. I can feel my body relaxing after a workout. I can feel myself getting ready for bed. Like to me, that was changing. I mean, the wins that I've had are so humongous to me. Like the period that I had when we first started, I was 2 seconds from going to the hospital. I was in so much pain. I was tripling up on muscle relaxers. I couldn't get off the couch for days. And then 3 periods later, I'm on vacation doing a 6.5 mile hike and 4 Advil. Like I had no pain all day. I was out in 90-degree Arizona heat all day, all night, and I was fine.
Yay.
And that was mind blowing. I kept saying it all day long. Like, this is mind blowing to me. I have my period right now. I don't even feel like I have my period right now. I was in a bathing suit during my period, the whole vacation. Like that was also mind blowing to me. I didn't have a lot of bloat, like my going to the bathroom has been easier overall, not just around my periods, but that protocol right before my period changed so much. The castor oil packs changed me so much. I now do them as often as I can, even though they're very sticky. Um, I feel like I know and can feel the difference between what's helping and what's not, and what's maybe working and what's not. And even food, which I was extremely nervous about when I came in, having a lot of eating disorders, particularly orthorexia, coming from my endometriosis. So a long time ago when I first got sick and I got sick from every food, I became afraid of every food and I just wouldn't eat anything. And then I didn't eat anything. And then I would binge and become super, super sick. And weight was bad and health was bad and everything made me worse. And so I was nervous about eliminating all of these food groups, but I don't know, somehow for some reason it was easier and it just made sense and I could start to feel a difference. And now it's like I'm not sick 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 100% of the time. So when I do add in a food, it's so much easier to detect which food and what symptom is happening. Whereas before I'm like, I feel bad all the time and I don't know what's causing it. So I don't know if I should take out bread or cheese or ice cream. Like it makes no sense to me. It's so that to me was the overwhelming part. Like, how do I know what to do? Because I just feel like crap all the time. I went from not being able to walk up the stairs without being out of breath to being able to do an entire day of exercise and work and still going out and or still like having life in the evening, just like energy in the evening to do something. I'm sleeping, which I didn't do for months and months. I mean, insomnia to the point of up all night, never going to sleep for weeks at a time. My leg pain is completely gone. My back pain is gone. Like I feel in control of my food choices. I feel like I can give myself something. Last night I had I had a piece of a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah.
And even my boyfriend looked at me and he was like, oh, you're going to get sick. And I'm like, no. First of all, I've made a choice. I know it's okay. I can do this. If I don't, then all I will do will think about the Reese's peanut butter cup that's sitting in the pantry. And that's just going to lead me down that eating disorder rabbit hole. But now I know that, okay, I can have one and that's fine. I don't know. It just feels so much. Yes, I'm in control of that. And control was like the one thing I wanted. I felt like I had no quality of life before this. I'm a health coach and a personal trainer, and I couldn't work. I own my own business and I couldn't do my job. And so I couldn't make any money because I couldn't stay awake at my desk and I couldn't work out at all. Like 10 minutes and a shower would drain me for the entire day. I was falling asleep at my desk every day. And now I have energy. Like this person right here didn't exist before. And I feel like me. I just feel like me again.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that and so much vulnerability there. It is hard, especially when you said like, I was a health coach and you couldn't do it. And you still leaped, like you still leapt and said, okay, I'm not making money. I'm not working. I'm not doing all this stuff. I'm not feeling great. And you still decided to join and take care of yourself.
I mean, it's a necessity. And I felt like there's parts that are easier and parts that are harder. I think I still have a work to do on the nervous system regulation because there's still a lot of trauma that's going on. But like, I wake up every morning and I get out on my roof deck and I stand outside and I face the sun and I do deep breaths. And that I know gives me energy because I can feel the difference on days that I don't do that. Yeah. Like, I think when you do these small things I've always paid attention to my body really, really well, but I didn't know what it was telling me. Like it didn't make sense to me. And now it makes so much sense. And that feels like control.
We are so honored to just be part of that story. Like that transformation there, like the fact that we played even the smallest role in it is so huge for us.
Thank you. I felt like every time I had something, you were like, oh, this is why, and we can do this. And to me, even just that is like somebody that's not being like, oh, well, we have no idea. Your test came back normal. No clue. Just keep doing what you're doing. Or like, that's just genetics. Too bad. Like that, to me, having somebody who listens and understands that we were on the call the other day and somebody asked about breast tenderness during their period. And they're like, is that just normal? And I just literally expected Farah to be like, yeah, that's normal. That's just what we have. And she's like, no, that's not normal. That means this, like, I'm like, oh, really?
Yes. Breaking everything down and understanding why it potentially be showing up as a symptom and what options there are to get relief from it and breaking it down for the individual because like your protocol is so different than anybody else's.
Yes. I love having the group coaching. I was worried about the group coaching at first because I was like, oh, we're going to get individual support. But I love having the group coaching because sometimes you don't ask everything you're thinking and somebody else does, or somebody else says a symptom. And you get to see everybody else's story. unfold and everybody else's journey unfold, but at the same time, it's extremely individualized and personalized. And I think that's a necessity for coaching. And
Yeah.
so I actually really love your model in that way. I might have to steal that model of group coaching with like a very individualized approach.
Yeah.
And I mean, the supplements, there's just no way I could have ever known any of this. So to me, that's humongous.
That's where we get into individualized, because we were with yourself, like we're able to like, dissect that Dutch test, and understand what are the factors, and then have a phased approach. Like we couldn't even do like, a single approach. We had to do a phased approach, even with the supplements, to get to more of the true root cause type of, healing that we're aiming for with everybody.
Yeah. I think one of the things that not one of the thing you said to me that I will never forget, and I think stuck with me, was very early on when I told you about how I had all the trauma and all these things happened to me and I just didn't know what to do. And I just ate and ate and ate and I couldn't do anything else. And I couldn't get out of bed and I just ate and ate. And you're like, thank God food was there to protect you. And that was such a mind-blowing thing to say to me, because I was like, oh my God, you're like, food was there and it protected you and it helped you because your body didn't know how to process what it was going through. Your body and your mind didn't. And so food was there and it saved you. You should thank food. And I was like, that's bananas. I told everybody about that because I just thought that like blew my mind. And I almost think that was a little bit of what helped the detox for me, because then you were like, and now we get to use food to nourish you. And to me, that was just like this shift that I needed for my own mental preparation of the detox.
The relationship with food is so precious, and making sure that we always look at it as serving us and having a function is important, because if we think of it as anything else, then it can continue to feel like it's not nourishing us, it's not serving us in a good way. You just have to understand that that function was meant for that time, and now we have a different function.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely think of food that way now too. And I don't think of it as comforting me anymore, which is the first time in 40 years of my life that I don't feel like food is like comforting me and safety. I feel like it's healing me for the first time.